because we were competing for customers in a way, but all of a sudden, when the children got involved and there became this humanitarian outreach, it was really like a rising tide taking all ships.
Right.
That the cannabis industry got lifted because of what we're doing on the CBD side and vice versa. So it worked. We wound up with a legalization of CBD in the country of Brazil back in April of 2014. We were able to sell the first medically prescribed CBD product, and certainly that's taken off significantly. We've seen, 4 years later, GW Pharmaceuticals received U.S. FDA approval on their Epidiolex product, a drug version of CBD used for refractory epilepsy. And there are now many individuals who've seen great benefit with their children with autism or ADD, ADHD, etc.
Dimitri Downing, Meet Unshackled, 2024, San Diego, California, Emerald Conference. Another beautiful day here in San Diego. Here with co-host, with the most, the number one extraction specialist in the world,
George Tanchev, Pure Path Extraction.
How you doing, George?
Doing good. It's a nice morning in San Diego.
Yes. I am thrilled to have our guest here. This is one of the things about these conferences. You catch up with old friends, you learn new stuff, you network, this is just important to come to these things. Meet Unshackled is our effort to introduce people to some of the people that were at the conference. And I didn't even know that Dr. Titus was going to be here at the conference. But, we have known each other for like 10 years, I think now. And you are a cannabis journeyman and have had a great career and have done so many things in your life. And just thought we haven't caught up yet at the conference, so let's catch up. How are you doing?
Everything's fine. Thanks so much. It's great to catch up with you. It's been quite a while since I've been out to Arizona, and certainly always appreciated the great event you've been able to put on with Mita, and it's been wonderful to watch it grow over the years.
Yeah, and we're trying. It's fun. We like to teach, share, educate. We work with good companies, and it's been a good thing. But our audience doesn't know who you are, so let's start with whatever point in your life that you want to start it and how you migrate into the cannabis space.
Yes. Many years ago, I was a PhD, a physiotherapist, and I was working with many athletes in terms of pain management, injury rehabilitation, and post-surgical issues. And from here, I saw many of the contact sport athletes in particular who would risk their careers to use cannabis because they didn't want to get on the opioid pill mill, so to speak. And they found that cannabis would help control pain, decrease inflammation, help with sleep issues at night. And my curiosity was aroused to the point I did attend my first medical cannabis symposium internationally back in the year 2004. And my gosh, it just opened my eyes. There was really some science to this, phenomena of cannabis. It wasn't just all getting high and having a good time, but people were using it medically. And of course, out here in California, we've had medical cannabis since 1996. So it's really taken hold quite significantly along the population. Of course, people use it for all kind of different activities, but the ones that use it medically have seen some tremendous benefit and overall improvement in health and wellness.
Mm-hmm. So 2004, you went to that first symposium.
Medical cannabis symposium. I kind of put it in the back of my head that not only were these cannabinoids being researched, but there was such a thing as non-psychoactive cannabis, which of course could be derived from the hemp plant, as well as found in marijuana. Although CBD back at the time had a misnomer of being the hippie's disappointment, as it was called, because it took down the high from marijuana, didn't add any value, and actually subtracted from what the cultivators at the time were looking to do. So many people thought of it as worse than worthless. However, a group of us from Southern California had seen the research and looked at this and thought there were some wonderful health and wellness benefits. And sure enough, it turns out that this market had evolved, and we brought our first CBD products to U.S. and world markets back in the year 2012.
2012. What were those CBD? What was that called?
Yeah, these were our nutraceutical forms of CBD. We had a partnership with a group out of Colorado called Dixie Elixirs.
Oh, Dixie Elixirs. Okay.
Yeah, Trip Kieber and
Trip
group.
Kieber.
Yes,
That
Well,
guy has nice watches.
for sure he did, yes. So we had a nice partnership with them. There were some of our first products that got into the mainstream. And before too long, we saw many anecdotal stories of feedback, testimony. People have seen some great health and wellness benefits, especially children with epilepsy. And that just set off a whole new realm and world looking at cannabis. And I think it really initially the marijuana crowd was a little bit against us because we were competing for customers in a way. But all of a sudden, when the children got involved and there became this humanitarian outreach, it was really like a rising tide taking all ships.
Right.
That the cannabis industry got lifted because of what we're doing on the CBD side and vice versa. So it worked quite well. We wound up with a legalization of CBD in the country of Brazil back in April of 2014. We were able to sell the first medically prescribed CBD product, and certainly that's taken off significantly. We've seen, 4 years later, GW Pharmaceuticals received U.S. FDA approval on their Epidiolex product, a drug version of CBD used for refractory epilepsy. And there are now many individuals who've seen great benefit with their children with autism or ADD, ADHD, et cetera. So it's been something that, the study and research with these youngsters has really shown some great benefit. But it makes sense once you understand the true science behind it and the human body, that we all have this amazing internal endogenous cannabinoid system. And because of the removal of cannabis, et cetera, many of us are cannabinoid deficient. And bringing those cannabinoids back into the human body basically just does what the human body's naturally trying to do, produce its internal cannabinoids. And it supplements the normal production of these internal cannabinoids, and that brings people up to a nice level of overall health and wellness. We really feel that these are essential dietary nutrients that do help improve our overall functioning, our physical health as well as mental, and certainly your receptor sites, your CB1 receptor, the most widely expressed of the brain's neurotransmitter receptor sites. So certainly this relates to the body's neurological function. CB1 receptors well expressed in the brain, the spinal column of the central nervous system. And then subsequently, there was finding and analysis of the CB2 receptor, which exists in the gut, the viscera, the internal organs of the body, and helps the body to improve its overall immune function. So working on both the neurological side as well as the immunological side, certainly two big pieces in overall health and wellness for individuals to take advantage of the cannabinoids.
Well, you clearly are a subject matter expert. I have a question. I never really asked anyone this. Why are some people cannabinoid deficient?
Well, this is a syndrome that was first postulated by Dr. Ethan Russo. He was seeing many individuals in the late 1990s, early 2000s with these relatively new medical conditions, things such as chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia, if you will, certain types of migraine headache, digestive disturbances, etc. And, it does seem that over time, whether it is the new foods that maybe over the last generations have been put into effect now with all the agricultural chemicals, the artificial fertilizers, the glyphosate and all the other agrochemicals that we're exposed to, has unfortunately dampened the body's natural production of our internal cannabinoids. And Dr. Rousseau found that when he got these patients measured with their internal blood cannabinoid levels, they were all low and deficient, got them on a plant-based cannabis and cannabinoid regimen, and all of a sudden they overcame their health challenges, these patients, and regained nice levels of health and wellness. So we don't have meters on us that can measure our cannabinoid sufficiency or deficiency, but nonetheless, many of us are cannabinoid deficient.
Well, I have a gift of being able to think like a villager, a peasant. So the simple question is there a test or could there be a test designed, a meter where you're heading with that, to measure somebody's cannabinoid presence? Is that coming? Is that something?
Well, I think it is something that, yes, of course, we have drug tests. People are drug tested for THC and for marijuana, just like the athletes.
Right.
If you're a professional sport or Olympic athlete, you get your P test. And
but could I go like into like one day Well, I go into a doctor's office and they run all those tests and they say, well, you're cannabinoid deficient because we have a test that says you are, and now you should be using this product.
I definitely think that day is coming. Yes,
Is it?
It is for
this
sure.
This is the man that's going to do it right here.
Well, we're certainly working on. We've been looking at this, and unfortunately, there's money to be made in drug testing for marijuana. Federal employees, airline pilots, Olympic athletes, that sort of thing. Someone can make a living out of doing that.
Yeah.
They haven't quite come to the realization that you can make a living by testing people's cannabinoid levels.
Deficiencies.
Because this will show if you're cannabinoid deficient, you might have some health risks and challenges that you might want to look at and address. And certainly, I believe it's a very simple test that could be done. You could even do it with a strip under the tongue or a simple blood draw, like they do the complete blood count. You go to a doctor, you get a prescription for your blood, and they do a little arm draw for your blood, and you could easily have that be tested for cannabinoid levels, et cetera. So sure, I think that's coming, and I think it would be a great asset to the industry.
Wow. George,
By the way, Dr. Russo has another paper which was saying that terpenes also activate the cannabinoid receptors.
Oh, yes.
Do you see that as a big extension? Because now the strains, especially the terpenes that extend the potency of a strain, they are complementary to the behavior of the strain. And there's a strain-specific medicine as well now going on a lot.
Very much so, George. It's a great point and a great comment that you made. Certainly, the terpenes, flavonoids, even some of the pigments, the plant waxes, chlorophyll, et cetera, all add synergistically to this amazing, what we call entourage effect that Dr. Rousseau, and I believe even Dr. McCoolum were some of the original proponents of this. But certainly the full spectrum cannabis, the plant matter is what matters, really does take effect. And we really see this, the differences between botanical CBD and what they're doing with pharmaceutical CBD. Epidiolex, they're giving young children between 400 and 700 milligrams of CBD daily to control their seizures. Well, many of these children with a botanical CBD form, it's only between 40 and 60 milligrams of CBD, so 10 times less dosage because you have this full spectrum complement of all your botanicals acting synergistically. And yes, certainly your terpenes, such as beta-carotene, will have a wonderful positive effect along with CBD, say on the CB2 receptors, improving the, how would you describe it, perhaps the overall sensitivity or the ability to improve the absorption of the cannabinoids through that receptor site. So yes, it certainly does happen.
You see the quality of people that we get here on Meat Unshackled?
Exactly. This is the show. This is the science show.
George is a scientist and he's engaged. So, but I want to know, is it professor? Are you running UCLA's Institute on Cannabis Research? Are you running a not-for-profit? Do you have a company? Do you have a project? Or what are you actively involved in now? Because we haven't caught up in a while.
It's been quite a while. I'm still involved with Medical Marijuana Inc.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I was the CEO there from 2015 to 2021. America's first publicly traded cannabis company dating back to March of 2009. I'm currently a consultant for their Canaway division, the multi-level marketing direct sales group. We, market and sell CBD products to 47 countries internationally. I'm just heading over to Japan for a very nice Hemp for Humanity event.
Okay.
We'll be talking before the people of Japan about the bringing back of agriculture crop, hemp. And it's been unfortunately taken away as a approved agricultural crop since the end of World War II, but there's some great interest. There's a huge history of hemp over in Japan, and I'm looking forward to finding out a little bit more about the 10,000-year history of hemp in Japan. Of course, everyone's somewhat familiar with the book by Jack Herer, The Emperor Wears No Clothes,
right?
And but there is a tremendous history over there of hemp, and it was formerly a wonderful agricultural crop with many industrial uses, and now to bring that potentially back to the people of Japan, I think would be a wonderful rewrite of history. And here we have the opportunity to potentially do that.
Is that coming down on us? I know what's going on there.
Little breeze outside, or someone must have opened the door.
Are you working with any universities? I mean, seems like the natural progression of your career is, to one day be the dean of something, the professor of this.
Well, I've been kicking the tires around with certain opportunities and the rest. It's been wonderful to see the emergence of many of these universities now who are studying medical cannabis and the science of the cannabinoids, but also these ancillary plant compounds, the terpenes, flavonoids, et cetera, and particularly how well they do synergistically. Of course, here at this conference, there are many individuals who are very much into the research side, the analytical chemistry, and the ones who actually help to determine the chemical structure and significance of the minor cannabinoids and the new up and coming cannabinoids, some of the synthetic versions, the delta 8s and the HHCs and the THCPs, et cetera, and then to further bring into the mix the wonderful benefits of the terpenes and flavonoids. I mean, for years I've been trying to get some group together to look at the cannaflavins, particularly the flavonoids in cannabis, cannaflavin A, B, and C. We had a little segment yesterday, and there's a nice doctor this afternoon from Canada going to be talking about the minor cannabinoids, but they also have had some wonderful research into the cannaflavins and trying to bring this into more commercial focus, because the cannaflavins have shown to have 30 times the anti-inflammatory properties of aspirin from some of the early studies and research. And it's just that you have to harvest fields and fields and fields of cannabinoids to get just a very small, minute trace amount of these cannaflavins. But hopefully there's be a way, either through botanical sources or through some synthetic chemistry, that we can have more of these cannaflavins available for study and research. We like to believe that certainly with the early research that's been done there, I mean, my gosh, to have a cannabis-based product that could replace all aspirins and have it be more of a natural botanical product, I think has got a great application. Because, long-term use of aspirin, you get all the gastric ulcerations and other complications with it. But if you could do it in a natural botanical product without any negative side effects and still have this huge anti-inflammatory property, my gosh, every athlete in the world will want to use that.
Can your extraction machines get us there?
Actually, I was at some point in their engine of generating wells on that kind of way. So that's how we met before. Now I remember. We met in Poland.
Yeah,
at a Conaway sales meeting.
He's an extraction expert. He builds machines and he knows his way around extraction. But yeah, I'm learning so much here. It's tremendous. Go ahead.
But that's exactly what they want to achieve. It's part of my extracts. The flavonoids is part of what we do. We have a special technology for extraction, and we are based on flavor. We come from the flavor and fragrance field, while everybody else are coming from pharma. And even their extractions are limited to the potency, to the cannabinoids. And we extract full terpenes, full flavonoids, and everything that is connected with minor cannabinoids and everything else.
Fantastic. Well, certainly the full spectrum profile makes the difference, certainly, and to be able to overcome some of the hurdles and challenges. I mean, many people just want to turn this CO2 extractor up to the very highest degree to squeeze out as much of the way the cannabinoids as possible. These are very stable molecules. CBD, we've had shelf life stability at 3 years at room temperature. So it's a very stable molecule. But some of these more what you call volatile chemicals, the ones that give the scent, the aroma, the flavor, the fragrance, that sort of thing. They need a little different technology to be able to capture these and then to be able to reconstitute some of that together along with the cannabinoids. I think would be a fabulous undertaking, and certainly it's been many years since we've caught up, and I'm sure your technology has advanced to a great degree. Just over time, you tend to learn from experience, etc. And but yeah, these full spectrum profiles that we will hopefully be seeing soon on some of the certificates of analysis. You'll just get better and better product, whether it's cannabis-based product or a CBD or a hemp-based product. Certainly, we look forward to the evolution of this and within the industry. I think that's the next great move forward.
Well, it's been fantastic catching up with you. I always say it's been 12 years in this industry. I've brokered a lot of deals. I've helped a lot of people get jobs, all kinds of stuff. And it's provided me with a living twice as well as good as I would have as a prosecutor. But one day I'm going to have to get a real job. And I hope when I have to get a real job, it'd be working with an institute, a university, a company, a project that is guided by someone with your level of expertise. And so how do people follow you? How do people keep track of you? What's the best way to stay in touch with you, you know?
Oh, well, that's
Because I think
great.
there's people watching this audience, they want to say, what is this guy going to do next? You know, they want to know. So what's the best way?
For sure. Well, I don't have a huge social media presence, but certainly my email contact, Stuart at mjnagroup.com is available, and I do correspond with people around the globe. We have many of our cannabinoid brand ambassadors throughout the world. We have operations in Mexico, Brazil, et cetera, and we'd love to keep up with people and individuals in that regard. But next thing, whenever it comes through, we'll certainly look forward to spending more time out in Arizona with you all and letting you know what the next big thing's going to be.
Anywhere in the world, we look forward to catching up with you, and I'm sure I'll see you soon. And it was good running into you here.
It's great running into you. Certainly, it's been quite a while, but you're always doing some fascinating things and have great guests and people introduced and all the rest. You never seem to be at loss for wonderful things that happen in the industry.
I'm just a villager wandering the earth trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And so, but thank you for helping guide us. And George, I'll always thank you for your presence.
For sure. It's great to be here at the Emerald Conference with you guys, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be on.
Yeah, we'll catch up with you soon at another one, Meat Unshackled, at another conference soon enough. And this has been another great episode of Meat Unshackled.